WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from Ireland, from Clonakilty, a very new distillery. This is a source product and it's a single cask for Germany only, 380 bottles. Now, what we have here is a very special cask finish. And look at the color, isn't that fantastic here? This is a Rivesaltes. I'm terrible at French. 3 years of it and I still can't speak it, or 3 years of, it's 30 years ago, so who knows. So I'm going to try to play this here for us real quick.
Rivesaltes.
Rivesaltes. So I'm going to every once in a while play something here because my French is not good and I need a few French words for French. Oh, the other one is vin du naturel. These naturally, these wines that have naturally been fortified. All right, so this is 43.6%, non-chilled filtered, no color added. This was 60 euros, 59.90, and almost all 380 bottles have been sold out. This is the first time that www.irish-whiskies.de for Germany actually has received from Clonakilty a single cask for Germany. So this is Whiskybase number 182615. All right, so Rivesaltes, you don't know anything about? Well, neither did I before I started researching a little bit. So this is an area of France, and it's a fortified wine just like a port and just like a sherry. So what do? You take grapes, you ferment them, and you stop the fermentation by adding onto our brandy. Brandy is just wine that has been distilled. So, and this whole region was basically created in 1972, and it's an so-called at least it says here ACC. And so I want to also play this. It's an ADC is what it should actually be called, I'm sorry. And it's a, one second, my French is terrible.
Contrôlée. D'origine contrôlée.
Appellation d'origine.
Appellation
D'origine contrôlée. So, as I said, my French is terrible, but that's just a geographical indicator. Just like champagne can only be made in that area, just like Parmesan can only be made in that area, just like port can only be made in an area, the same thing here. This is an area around France it is made at. There are basically, at least what I found out, a couple different categories that could be white or red grapes used to make this. It doesn't really matter because what they want to do is they want to have as much oxidation as possible. And so the white turns brown, the red turns brown. It's just a brown liquid at the end. And we have the Garnet, we have the Amber, we have the Tully, we have the Eau d'Arrache, and we also have the, and what the flavor they're going for is Rancio. Rancio. I don't know if I pronounced that right. R-A-N-C-I-O. I'm sorry for hurting anyone's ears out there. I'm not good at this. And that's this oxidized grape moment. You want to have raisins, you want to have nuts, and you want to have a type of plum in here. All right, and so that's what they use. Clonakilty, as I said, is a new distillery. I've actually interviewed the co-owner here. The two sons are in the States pushing this a lot. And Mareike Spitzer here from www.irish-whiskies.de is actually the distributor and importer here for Germany, and I've tried a few things. Oh, talking about trying a few things, I have a different one from Clonakilty over here. This is about 1.5 years old, and this is a single grain. This is a Irish whiskey. And so this single grain was actually finished in a Bordeaux cask. So, now 2 things. Number 1, look at the boxes. Now the boxes are exactly identical except for one thing. There's a label on this box. So if I'm a dealer, if I have a shop, a whiskey shop, and I have a few different bottlings from Clonakilty, I have no idea what's in the box. It's all the same, so I have to open each and every box up to find out what that is. Please put a label on the box. I like that much better. All right, so that's the first thing I wanted to mention. And the second thing I wanted to mention is if it says Irish whiskey, that is a catch-all. And that's basically the same thing as if I say Scotch. What is Scotch? Scotch is a blended product. Single Column still, grain whiskey, and all single malt. If you say it's single malt Scotch, yay! If you only write Scotch on the bottle, it's a blend. The same thing. If you only write Irish whiskey, it's a blend. All right, and so they actually do talk about this being a blend on the website, at least in German. What I would like to know, it's not on that information. I could have asked, but hey, that's not my job to ask the importer or the producer. In my opinion, it's more of a push, not a pull type of information. You, as the producer and or also distributor in your country, should provide the information about how long the finish is. Is it 2 days, 2 months, 2 years? And also, if at all possible, there's no secret here, the percentage of the grain to the malt. I do not expect, after non-disclosure agreements, NDAs and so on, that you tell me where the grain from or where the malt came from. Don't expect that. But there is no trade secret here being revealed by telling me, hey, this is 70% grain and 30% malt, which I think it is from my tasting notes. All right, on the nose, I'm getting a little bit of a funky type of lactose acid, and then on top of that, you like a little bit of a butter that's been in the sun a little bit too long, and then on top of that, I get some raisins, and I get some chocolate. On the taste, I'm going to get chocolate raisins, and this is very, very good. The nose is just not my wheelhouse. The nose just doesn't do it for me as I would expect. Every time I nose this, it's like, well, there's a tiny, tiny little bit that's it should be here, and it's like a little bit to the side. It's a little bit, I don't want to use the word off because the word off notes are something bad, but it's a little bit outside of my expected realm. I, on the other hand, love this Bordeaux finished single grain. It's much fruitier, it's much lighter, there's a little, even a dryness of that red wine in there. Look at the color difference here. I mean, come on, you can't get in more extreme than these two. All right, so well done also on the natural color and on the non-chilled filtering, even though it is 43.6%. Yay. So you might get a little bit of Irish mist in here if you added water to it. All right, let's try it. Now, this was a German exclusive. It's basically sold out all over Germany. One shop has it as of the middle of July 2021. That is called www.whiskyhort.de. Maybe they would send a bottle outside of the country. I don't know. What I really want to do, and I'm going to go back to this, I'm not spending much time on Clonakilty, sorry. I'm spending all the time on that cask, because the cask makes it special. And what I want to do one day is I'm going to have to do this for myself, is to get 6 different, or how many ever, different fortified wines. I need a port, I need a sherry, I need a Rivesaltes, I need a Marsala, I need a couple other that are out there. And I need just to try them and blind and see if I can identify things that are very specific to this. As I said, this should be raisins, this should be, for me, like a pear nut, like a macadamia nut, and this should be a little bit of a plum, a dark, rich, overripe plum. That's what they're going for. Cheers. There is a youthfulness here. There is a little bit of a tingling on my tongue, which tells me there's a higher grain proportion here. Fairly young grain. That's not going to be 8-year-old grain. But it's got a very pleasant and very dominant, but not overpowering, finishing moment. This whiskey has a lot of that raisins. It had a lot of dark chocolate covered raisins. It has some of that plum, and it actually has a little bit of that macadamia nuts in here. It's much better on the palate than it is for me personally on the nose. Yeah, C minus. Palate, C plus. Now water, I'm going to add a tiny little drop, 3, 1, 2, 3, well, it's 4. Doesn't change it that much, to be honest, at least not in my first video that I did in German. Now, Clonakilty is doing a lot of these cask experiments, by the way. They have a lot of beer finishes just for the States. They're doing a lot of small batch things. Oh, by the way, I have another peeve. It actually says here, batch number RVS001. I know I've had single barrel small batch releases in bourbon before, but really a batch is always a mixture of things. And maybe you're talking about a mixture of the old single malt with the single grain together in this cask makes it for you a batch. But I would actually try to revise the label here and say, hey, maybe it is actually a some single barrel. All right, so I do like the fact that you say it's bottle number 51 of 380. Excellent, excellent, excellent. It's done, chilled, filtered. Did I find the word natural color anyplace? So premium Irish whiskey matured in ex-Bourbon barrels and finished in the ex-Rivesaltes wine casks at our Atlantic Ocean warehouse. Aromas of dried fruit, dark chocolate, and digestive biscuits lead to flavors of raisins, dark chocolate, and oak with a finish of toffee and honeyed nuts. Okay, there is no mention here of natural color. Gently cut with water, naturally filtered through our own coastal rock formation. We craft spirits that feed the soul. Oh, single cask. Non-chilled filtered. Gently cut. I made a mistake. There is no mention of natural color here. We, the whiskey community, ask to please have on every bottle natural color and non-chilled filter if it is. Otherwise, we're going to have to assume that it's not, which would be a shame with such a great, great cask finish here. The raisins, I actually get a little bit of apricots in here as well. The chocolate, the wood, the spice takes over. Definitely a C++. I asked Whiskybase if there are other bottlings with the Rivesaltes casks. This was the first one. In the year 2013, Glen Els, which is now Ellsburn, actually did a wood smoke single cask. 2014 they did it, and also they did it 2017. So in Germany they've used these types of casks, one distillery 3 times already. The Epicurean used it. The Lowlands blended malt Scotch whiskey had a 2020 bottling, and what I totally forgot, of course, Tomatin, the French oak collection, which I have not reviewed. The bottles are over there. I'm gonna have to do that soon. Also has the Rivesaltes cask finish, which is something I'm really, really looking forward to. So, Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of America, from America, giving this a C++. Value for money, a solid C, 60 euros. It's exotic, it's rare, it's very, very, it's unusual and yet good. On the nose, not as good as it is on the palate. The palate is fabulous, very good. Fabulous is too much. This is the winter type of whiskey. This is the summer type of whiskey. I really like the grain a lot. I don't think this is available either at the moment. This is something I drink on a warm summer's night, and this is something I drink in front of the fireplace. Thank you very much. What other bottlings do you know of Rivesaltes? Maybe Whiskybase doesn't have everything. And also the next question is, what other vin de naturel cask types do you recommend for whiskey finishing? All right, so French today is our language we're speaking more. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, tell others, and share this video if you'd be so kind. And take a look at some of the other expressions Clonakilty are bringing out. Still sourced, but soon, I think within 2022, 2023, they might actually have their own bottles on the market by then. All the best. Bye-bye.